Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today we are going to explain a beautiful movie based on the life of a beautiful student named Caroline. She does not know what is loyalty and keeps on changing men and use them. At last, she finds out the guy who teaches her the true values of life in his own way. What happens next? Watch the episode to know. In the beginning of the film, we are introduced with a beautiful girl named Caroline Dennings. She is thinking about her past, and the story goes into flashback. This is the year when Caroline moved to a different town to complete her high school studies. The same year witnessed many incidents that were worse. Caroline's father was diagnosed with cancer. A fire broke out in the town, killing animals and people. A serial killer was also roaming the town. But for Caroline, it was the year of love, when she felt the freedom and enjoyed the most. Caroline takes admission in a lavish high school, but according to her, it was full of weird students. To prove her point, she narrates the story of a student who used to study here the year before Caroline arrived. Her name was Lily, and she was beautiful. She was very intelligent, but worked in a nightclub to support herself and her family. Students got to know about her, and they ganged up to make her life miserable. They used to throw heated coins at her in school, but Lily never gave up and attended the school every single day for 2 years. One day, some children were playing near the school fields and found her dead body with marks of burnt coins all over her body. A student named Thurston introduces himself and asks her to join him for smoking. Caroline is now sitting with drugged-out students inside a van. They were just doing all that out of boredom, but Thurston had his own reasons to be inebriated all the time. Wexler Anderson is the teacher who is somehow similar to Caroline. She feels there is an emptiness inside him just like her. After Caroline's mother died, she was feeling the same void within. She tried to get the love from people, but nobody provided her. And something about Wexler is attracting her. Wexler asks her, why is she looking at him like this? Caroline tells him about what she feels about the school and the students here. She says they are immature and pathetic. She just doesn't feel like staying here. But she had to complete her school. She then tells him he is not alone who feels like this, as they are on the same boat. While going home, she rides her cycle. Thurston notices her coming and knowingly falls down on her way, getting a chance to talk to her for a while. He asks her about the town and what she thinks about people there. Caroline tells him the town is boring and the people are criminals here. She tells him to stop the interview as she is getting late. Thurston is in depression and his family knows about it. He is trying hard to make his life normal. Here, Caroline goes to teacher's home, who is not in a mood to welcome her, but she is adamant she wants to get inside. As soon as Wexler allows her inside, she starts teasing him with her beauty. Wexler knew what she wanted to do with him, but he was not encouraging her. But then she called him handsome and left his home. Caroline's mother taught her to call a man handsome if she ever need to attract him, because all men wants to be handsome deep inside. Next morning, Wexler tells the student that he is going to give personal tutorials, and if anyone is interested, he should stay. He knew Caroline will stay for him, and he was right. Both of them spends private time in empty classroom, while Caroline takes us further back in time telling the story of Thurston. Thurston was at a party where the homeowner girl threw him out as he was smoking. As Thurston came out, she met Caroline. Both of them talked for a few minutes, and Thurston started liking her. On his way back to home, he was talking about her with his friend. They were drunk and met an accident. Thurston found out that his friend was badly injured. He had drugs in his pocket, which Thurston took out. A man called the police to help them in accident, but the boys panicked, as they had drugs and police would arrest them. Thurston hid them before the cops come. His friend was bleeding internally and dies on the spot, leaving Thurston depressed. Caroline goes to meet Wexler, but he is busy with sports teacher. Caroline says she needs personal lesson from Wexler, but the sports teacher denies her as she fixed appointment with him. Caroline becomes upset with Wexler as she wanted to spend private time with him. She leaves the school and goes to sit alone for some time. She falls asleep and sees weird dreams. She finds herself making out with Wexler, and in other dreams she is living as the wife of Thurston in older times. When it comes to intimacy, she dreams of Wexler, but she needs lover like Thurston. Wexler calls her and says, "This is a small town and people will spread rumors about their affair if the news comes out." He then make excuse about loud music and cut the phone, making Caroline even more angry. She goes to see Thurston and meets his mom. As Thurston comes, she directly asks him to come out. Both of them go inside a car and spend private time together, but Thurston is not good at it, leaving her unsatisfied. Next morning, Wexler wants to talk to her, but she is upset. He manages to talk to her in private and tell her that he planned to be with her this weekend all alone, which makes her happy, and they again spend time together in classroom. Next, we see Thurston trying to impress Caroline. He visits her home with cupcakes made by his mom, but Caroline's dad does not like him at all. He never allows him to talk to Caroline. He takes the cakes and tells him to go away. He even asks Caroline to stay away from Thurston. Thurston's mom cannot believe why anyone hate her son, as he is a simple, emotional boy. She makes more cupcakes and visits Caroline's home herself. This time, Caroline's father happily invites Thurston's mom inside. Caroline is busy spending weekend with Wexler, and they are totally enjoying the time with each other. Thurston is smoking pots with his friends, all depressed and messed up, and his mom is sitting with Caroline's father. He tells Thurston's mother that how his wife died with cancer when Caroline was a child. He takes special care of her. That's why he is like this. Then Thurston's mother tells him about her husband, who used to go on tours as he was a singer. Then suddenly he stopped coming back home, leaving them all alone. Caroline's dad understands the situation and feels that Thurston is a good boy. At school, Caroline is upset about it. As Thurston's mother spent time with her dad to make her meet Thurston, she confronts him and says that his mom is a loser, but her father told her that she needs to go on a date with Thurston. Wexler calls her to meet him. She promises him to see him after getting free from Thurston's date. Thurston is now getting along with her dad fine, as his mother did the job for him. Caroline goes out with him and tells him that he is delusional. She is not in love with him. He reveals that it was his first time when he did that in car with her. She becomes shocked after hearing this. She ends the date and goes to Wexler. Then both of them enjoyed each other's company. After that, she goes downstairs and read his novel, where he wrote about his life story and mentioned Caroline as ethereal savior. She tells Wexler that he is totally wrong, as she is not any ethereal savior because she is not here to save him. She is just enjoying herself. Then she leaves him with a note that it's all over. Here, Thurston is smoking with his friends, where one of them is very happy. He tells them he experimented with some household products and experienced astral travel. Thurston is paying attention to him, but all others think this is just drugs. Caroline now comes to Thurston herself, and they both spend private time together. In the school, Wexler tries to convince her again and invites her for dinner at night. Here, student Lily asks Thurston if he can join her for Christmas party at her home. He agrees to attend the party. News breaks out in town that there is a serial killer who is responsible for all the murders of girls who basically change partners for physical needs. Industrial fire also broke loose, forcing people to wear masks, which is just the mechanism to feel safe, and does nothing at all. Wexler colors his hair and tries to make the date special for Caroline. He waits at the table, but she is busy with Thurston now. She is not even picking up his phone. Wexler is tore apart because of this rejection. He remembers how his girlfriend cheated on him. He calls her old girlfriend, who is married now, and asks if she is happy in her life. She replies, yes, she is. Wexler cannot see wrong people becoming happy, as she was the cheater. Next morning, he asks Thurston for a quick talk. He reveals to him that Caroline is sleeping with him since quite a long time, and now she is using Thurston as a cover. Wexler knows that Thurston is a kind of guy who loves Caroline from his heart, and he does not like cheaters as well. Thurston goes home in anger and asks her to get out of his house. He cannot bear cheaters and don't want to see her at all. She goes to Wexler and confronts him for revealing the truth to Thurston. Wexler is too upset to handle the situation, but Caroline anyway leaves him for Thurston. Here, friends gathers at the Christmas party, and Caroline is on her way to go there. Thurston and friends are drunk as usual, and it's evident that they are not meant to be with one another. Wexler tries to commit suicide but ends up shooting his leg. The sports teacher comes to him and asks him if she can take him to doctor. She reveals she loves him the way he is. Caroline hits a car and loses consciousness. As she comes to her senses, she finds a man is dying. Turns out that he was the serial killer who was about to kill another victim, and that was Thurston. Next morning, everything seems fine, and Caroline goes to meet Thurston. She asks forgiveness and informs him that she left Wexler forever. Thurston accepts her as she saved his life last night. Wexler is also happy with his new girlfriend, and the film ends here. Please like, comment,